time to throw it over to Bex with one of the most anticipated games of the year.
Yeah, baby, starting off with Indiana Jones.
Well, if like us, you have been humming the Indiana Jones theme since this next game was announced, then you just might be as excited as I am right now.
It's my second most
Here to
anticipated
reveal
game after
as much
Star
as
Wars
I can
Outlaws.
possibly pry out of them about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Please welcome Machine Games Design Director Jens Anderson and Creative Director Axel Torvenius. Hi guys, how are you?
Hello, we're fine. Excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here with you and talking about indie. Shall we dive into it?
Please.
First question I want to ask you guys. Obviously, this film franchise is incredibly iconic. And how did the game come about for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit surreal, right? We've been pinching ourselves throughout production. Is this happening? But it is, I promise. And
yeah, Troy
so
Baker's
it
done a
all
great
starts
job.
With, Todd Howard had been this, long-term vision and dream and ambition to do a new, interesting Indiana Jones game. He had the opportunity to pitch his core idea from a narrative point of view to Lucasfilm Games. They were also very excited about it. Then Todd took the project to Machine Games, checking in, I think you're a good fit as a studio to do this, and you can imagine the screams of joy within the halls of Machine Games.
I bet.
As we were given the opportunity to work on it. So we are super thrilled.
Super thrilled indeed. I mean, thinking about how big it is and how excited you guys are, the thrill of that must be quite a feat to work with.
Oh, I can't
and
wait.
Develop
Like,
as
I've played a
well.
lot of
So
Star Wars over the
how
years.
is
I have
the
played
game
much less
prioritizing
Indiana Jones.
all of
So for a
Indiana
good
Jones's
Indiana Jones game to come
adventure from
around,
the films into the game.
It's really about putting you into the shoes of Indiana Jones, like allowing you to play out this fantasy. What would you do as Indiana Jones? And with that obviously comes the iconic whip, being able to solve mysteries, escape traps, and doing all these things that we know and love from this.
don't
iconic
forget
hero.
Venice.
I mean, I probably wouldn't choose the right chalice, but hopefully everything else in the game I'll have correct. It'll be fine. Speaking about the game then, let's talk about what the combat and maybe exploration will look like in Indiana Jones and the Great
Spiders.
Circle.
So it all comes back to the character. You know, what could you do? So combat, compared to, we come from a background of working on Wolfenstein for a really long game, like big double-wielding shotguns. This game is not that. This is much more adventure-focused game. So that means exploring more open-ended environments, having proper puzzles into the game that's challenging for the player to solve without you getting stuck, being able to scale the environment using your whip, but also, the combat. Like Indy is known for his knuckle-busting, brawler-style combat, so punching enemies in the face or even picking up a banjo and smashing them over the head. It's all about trying to recreate that really almost comedic matinee-style adventure.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, he's an archaeologist, but not quite BJ, but he does a good job with what's around him. Can't wait to get into that. Speaking of utilizing the environment, can we talk about the puzzles that we'll see in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle as well?
Absolutely. This is one of the kind of new type of features that we haven't done so much with before at Machine Games. So that was a really interesting challenge. And as I mentioned, we want to make real puzzles. We want you to be this kind of professor, archaeologist. So there's a lot of games, big games out there that kind of dumb down the puzzles for the sake of just making sure the player gets the full experience. We have tried really hard.
I love how he
make
changed.
them,
There's nothing wrong
exciting
with
to
skipping a
explore and
word,
build
brother.
all
I
these
do it
systems, like
all
we
the
have
time.
the camera and the journal to help you through the
I love it.
puzzle. You get to
Brilliant pivot.
investigate and discover.
Brilliant
and if you still do get stuck, you have the camera. You can pick it up. You can snap a photo of the puzzle, and Indy will provide a little clue what you need
Oh,
to
that's
do.
cool.
You can take another one if you get deeper, so you don't have to go off to YouTube to see the solution.
Oh, dude,
also
I don't want to
extremely
pause, but
important to
he just
try
said
to
something
hit
very important.
the
You
sweet
don't have
spot
to
of making
leave the
sure
game
that we
to
have these
find out what you
complicated
need.
puzzles from
That
a
is the
game
biggest
mechanic point of
issue
view,
with
but
a
we
lot of
also need to
puzzle-based
make
games. You have
sure
to go
that
to
they
YouTube
feel
and
like
figure
it
it out.
fits within
When
the
they have a
environment.
clue system in
Like
game
it's an
where it's like,
actual
oh, you're
part of this
struggling,
ancient
take a
temple
picture,
that you have
Indy will
discovered.
talk you
That
through
there's
it.
a
That's
contextual
brilliant.
sense to it.
That's
So
brilliant.
there's many different components, but we feel that we are in a very, very good sweet spot at the moment where it sits.
I believe in you too. I can't wait to see them. You know, speaking about ancient temples and things, obviously we see
Really cool to
a
hear.
whole bunch of iconic and interesting locations that Indy gets to travel to across the films too. Whereabouts in the game will us players get to explore and discover?
Yeah, so we have just the base narrative and the core story is already, it makes sure that we put the player on a global adventure. We get to visit a lot of different locations. The reasoning behind some of these locations is a twofold reason. One is, of course, that it fits the narrative, the story that we want to tell. The other one is also to make sure that we introduce new, interesting, exciting environments throughout the
Get
full
it done,
campaign.
Troy. Get it
So
done.
you will get this dynamic pacing of, wow, a jungle, a desert, mountains, you know. So we're really trying to make sure that that balance and that contrast feels exciting and thrilling at all times.
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, a lot of us, I'm sure, me especially, I'm very excited to get my hands on that whip and take that out for a spin. Is there anything you want to share just now about whip wielding and how that can be used within the game too?
It's such an important feature. Like it's iconic for the character. So from day one, it's been, you know, incredibly important to get right. And we've had, you know, super talented engineers and animators working really hard to get, you know, the feeling of it feeling right. Like there's a mix of simulation,
It's gonna be
physical
so much
simulation
fun.
in
I
there.
just
There's a
can't
mix of
help myself
animation
right
that takes
now.
over.
I feel giddy.
That
Like,
allows
I
you
love
to do
Indiana
all the
Jones.
things that we want to do. You can, you know, attach it to things in the environment, pull them, use it to scale walls. It's also a combat tool, so really being able to use as a primarily
I think
as
the
an
last
entry
Indiana
point to
Jones
combat
game I
is a
can
very
remember
good
playing
use of the whip.
was,
You can use it to disarm someone,
on the
so you can
Xbox, the original
turn
Xbox,
around
there
and
was
then
an
use it
Indiana Jones
to
game.
pull an enemy into what we call clinch, so you can punch them. You know, it's a very versatile
I did
tool.
Fate of
and
Atlantis last year.
Getting
That's
that
an
to
old
feel
point and click
right
which
has
I
taken
played
a
before.
lot of work. We have the audio part
Like
of it.
modern games. I
We-
played one on the
we
Xbox.
actually-
And I can't remember the name of it. Something
we
about the
actually-
Emperor's Tomb.
Super important. And
Yeah.
it is such an iconic part of Indiana Jones' character. So the amount of work from broad spectrum within the team that's been working on it and you know working hard to make sure that it is where it is today, it's been not
Love
an
you.
easy task.
We even brought in experts.
Expert.
Like we went to visit the Swedish bullwhip champion. He
No
got
way.
yeah. And you know, our audio team went there and rigged mics and everything, so
Hard-boiled
we could get the
eggs,
sound just
beans.
right
Wow.
and see how it's actually being used.
Oh gosh, that must have been quite
Fresh
the day. I love
tortillas.
that.
Thank you very much. A fork.
Can't wait for that part
Thanks, man.
personally. So let's talk about what it was like working with Lucasfilm. Obviously, absolutely synonymous with Indiana Jones and a lot of amazing IPs.
I'm gonna
what
be eating
can
while
fans
we watch this,
expect
guys.
in terms of authenticity in your game?
A lot. So speaking to the point of working together alongside with Lucasfilm Games has been extremely, valuable and appreciated. We have been on a constant iterative
Troy Baker
basis
might be
with
the
them,
GOAT.
basically weekly
He's up there.
turn. We've
Nolan
been
North.
in contact with them. They are the experts of the IP, they are the experts of the franchise. So seeking their guidance sometimes and making sure that we are on the right path has been invaluable and, a really good experience. And speaking to what fans can expect, there are two sides to that. For people that are fans of the franchise and fans of
Go for
Indiana
it, Howie.
Jones, this is
gonna be a great
absolutely your fix. This is your Indiana Jones fix, right? But when it comes to, and it's might sound weird, there are people out there that do not know who Indiana Jones
Sure.
is. we are capturing them also, because at the heart and at the core of Indiana Jones and the franchise is a fantastic world of deep narrative and a great adventure. So there is something for everyone in there.
Think about the
Amazing.
people
I
who
can't
have
wait.
played
That sounds so
Uncharted,
good. Well, guys,
never
I would love to
watched
know
Indiana
if
Jones.
there are any parts of the film that you also
target
emulate in
audience.
the game, or if you could maybe share us a little bit of Easter eggs if you have any.
Well, it wouldn't be a proper Easter egg if we spoiled it ahead of launch, so you have to play it for yourself. But as Axel said, there's a wealth of indie trivia and you know, lots of really cool things to discover in the game. So
If you know type thing.
You will
Yes.
not be disappointed if you're into that.
Amazing. Well, guys, thank you so much for chatting with me today. Finally, last question. When can we get our hands on
December
Indiana
9th,
Jones
baby.
and the Great Circle?
December 9th.
Okay, Christmas wish list sorted then. Very good and very nice. Jens, Axel, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Gamescom. It's been such a pleasure chatting all things indie. I shall
Thanks.
don my hat now as well. I think that's only right. And remember, you can pre-order your copy of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle ready for December 9th. Excitement